Is going live. We are live. Week 10, week 9 was spring break, so nothing last week. Hopefully, all you guys got Squid going pretty good. I got a few emails from people where it's working pretty good. Got a couple. You still need some help. We can help you. Did you get it working at all? Yeah, we got it working. That's right. Good enough. I think it was SSL that was the problem, right? I don't remember. Anyway, so I hope everyone had a good spring break. So tonight we're going to do Samba, which Samba is actually pretty cool. For those of you who haven't taken a lot of other networking courses, Windows uses a protocol called SMB, which is the server message block, and this is actually used in pretty much any time you're using Windows or Active Directory. You're going to be using Samba. And Samba, or not Samba, sorry, SMB. And Samba is an open source implementation of SMB protocol for non-Windows systems. It allows you to do file sharing. It does things like NetBIOS API, which really, honestly, this NetBIOS, pretty much all it's used for is naming. So on Windows, you name your system something, and it actually broadcasts that name out on the network. It does a few other things, but the biggest thing that it does is file sharing. And in a big organization, file sharing is pretty important because, you need to get a group of people working together. The best way to get them access, to each other's stuff is to create a file server so they all can access the same files on a single server. So, and even in the server message block article, they mentioned Samba. And Samba is, like I said, a free software re-implementation of the SMB /CIFS networking protocol for Unix-like systems. And probably the biggest use for this is Macs, because they don't by default have Windows support built in, so they a lot of times will come with CIFS, or not CIFS, with Samba to use so that you can interoperate with Windows systems. So that's basically what it is. If you go up here to places, well, it'll be a little bit different if you're using GNOME 3, but on here I have places and I can connect to a server, and Windows Share is one of them. Now I don't have this set up yet, so can't really do anything with it, but I'll show you guys kind of as we're going through how this works. And I forget what it's like on GNOME 3, but I'm sure, I think it's in Files actually, where you can connect to a server. So I'm going to open up a terminal and get to root. So I'm going to do a yum -y for yes to all the questions. And actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to do a yum search Samba. Because for those of you who are thinking about maybe the final and what you want to do, this is something I think would be really cool to set up. If you have access either to this lab or your own home system where you might have a couple computers, this would be really awesome. But you can set up Samba as a domain controller and run a Windows network using Linux as the head server. So it's pretty cool. It takes a little bit more work than what we're going to do tonight. I've done it a couple of times, but it was kind of like pulling teeth every time. And the newest version of Samba actually is supposed to get around a lot of that. So if you guys want to do a final, this is a hint of what you can do. You would need to actually have another computer to join it to. So you have another Windows client that you can join to your Linux Active Directory domain. So we're going to do yum -y install, and I want Samba, of course. And See, here's this Samba DC, which is an AD domain controller. But we're not going to install that. I am going to install the system config Samba. Hopefully I'm not. Okay, good. So Samba and system config Samba. I'm going to hit enter on that. And this will go out and download it and install it for us. I don't know if I've gone over this yet, but I want to show you guys RPM Fusion as well. RPM Fusion is awesome because there's a lot of extra packages. Say you don't have software that you want to find in Fedora, you can come to RPM Fusion and they have instructions somewhere here, how-tos. Enable RPM Fusion on your system, and you can just click, RPM Fusion free for Fedora 21 or 20, and then you get access to all those extra packages. And as an example of what extra packages you would be getting with it, there are extra games, hardware support, sound and video. There should be more than that. The non-free has even more, because what the non-free has are cool things like codecs, any media codecs. They'll let you play like MPEGs and H.264, stuff like that. It's in a legal gray area, but it's fair use in my opinion. I'm not a lawyer and I don't give out legal advice. So that being said, I won't openly admit that I use them, but it does contain codecs that you can use if you want to play media like, Xvid, stuff like that, DivX. So anyway, just a bit of a tip there. We got Samba installed, and by default it's not running and it's not really configured for much. So I'm actually going to try the configuration tool. We're going to run system config Samba. Let's see if it's gotten any better. It is not. Okay. Well, let's try it. We'll do an add share. I'm going to share my documents. The share name is documents. We'll make it writable and visible. And access is give access to everybody. All right. Work group. We'll call this just work group, just like Windows does. Description, that's fine. Security, that's fine. So if I restart some CTL, restart Samba, SMB, the service name is SMB, it's running, that's good. So I should be able to, should be able to connect to it. So I'll do localhost, probably not FTP, probably Windows Share. Let's try connecting to it. Alternatively, you can go to network here and see if we can browse to it. Didn't like that. So let's go back here and go to not Samba users. Preferences, server settings, security. I want to do my guest user will be guest. Or not guest games. I should have a guest. Apparently not. Oh yeah, so on GNOME 3 on the browser, it's down here, connect to server. See if it likes that. Sure, it's still good. This really works right out off the bat, so don't feel bad. I always have problems with it. So it's still not working. That's okay. I'm gonna give up on this. And say, okay, fine. So we're going to go and edit the configuration manually. And it's an etc. Samba smb.conf. We have a lot of comments in here. One thing that Samba is very good about is they have very good comments because you need them. This is going over all the different options. I'm trying to find options. Oops, printers, raw, okay. Okay, yes. I'm gonna mute you. Mute. Sorry about that. Homes. Browsable, no. Writable, yes. Documents. Read only, no. Browsable. Oh, that's silly. Not browsable, yes. Actually, didn't do too bad of a job here. Let me see. Actually, use grep. I'm gonna cat etc. Samba. Oops. Etc. Samba. smb.conf. I'm gonna grep -v, which is for some reason it means inverse of a hash. So what this will do, it'll show me every line that is not commented out, or at least every line that's not commented out with a hash. These are also commented out with a semicolon, but it gives me a much more viewable. Here, I'm going to pipe this to less so I can scroll. So the work group is work group, server string is that. Oh, I probably need a NetBIOS name, so let's fix that. So the NetBIOS name I'm going to call Linux. I'll restart Samba, and I don't think that'll work, but we'll try smb :// localhost. All that looks great. So, since I don't know what's going on, let's see if the log tells us anything. Do a cat var log samba. We'll do log.smbd. Interesting. Interesting errors. Try ready to serve connections. Failed to delete PID file. No such file or directory. Just starting and crashing. Well, that's probably not helpful. Well, they were started at the same time. pkill-9 SMBD. What I'm doing with this is PS is a process list. AOX shows all services, all processes running on the system, and I'm grepping for Samba. Well, that didn't find anything except for itself. What SMB found, though, were two processes. These two processes right here, SMBD, both of them are called SMBD. So what I did was I did a pkill, which stands for process kill, and -9 is a very aggressive kill on the SMBD process. So I'm going to try doing a system CTL status SMB, which should say it failed. And so I'm going to do start. And I'll do a status. And it's still unhappy with things. Let's do a tail r log sm samba smb or log.smbd. Standard input is not a socket, assuming -d. Nothing. Let's see. Let's tail that file again. Says Damon ready. Let's do a netstat to see what ports are open. This is for these options allow me to see all of the ports that are open and all the programs that are associated with those ports. So in this case, we see that SMB is listening on port 139, which is good, and on 445, which is also good. It also starts this RPC bind, which is on 111, and a randomized port, which is 36116. This won't be the same. Probably even from time to time on mine. Excuse me. Oh. So these are all good, but they're all listening on IPv6. Oh, and it also has IPv4 up here. 139, 111 should be 445. Yep. And that's another randomized port. 44700. All right, that all looks good actually. Why is Nginx running? I have to look at that. Oh, Metasploit, that's why. So it appears that Samba's working, but I don't think it's gonna cancel. SMB localhost. And actually, there's a Windows system in here. Let's see if we can browse to it from our Windows system. Yeah, over there, but let's do UMD 1331, but it says student before that. Well, my password successfully changed to itself. So I'm logging into a Windows system here to see if I can browse out. Now you can also check the IP address. I want to do an fconfig p4p1. I'm 172.16.0.193. Right? All right, let's look at our log file, see if that actually is recorded. No. No, it is not. Actually, I'm going to double check that my firewall is down.
Keeps it down its firewall. Let's go.
Good luck.
I'm not even wired into the network, so I can't do anything. Watch out, I'll get into a hacking battle with you.
Huh, it does not like me. Why doesn't it like me? Oh, they made that really easy to understand, didn't they? That clear as mud to everybody? Oh, there we go. The double dash help is much more helpful. So SMB client service password. What's the service? We'll do a man SMB client. Because really I just want to find out why. I'll go back to my config file. So if you guys get this far and get frustrated and totally getting nowhere, don't worry about it. I reward effort. Samba is actually one of the most difficult things to configure in Linux. Just for giggles, public equals yes. See if that makes a difference. Actually, let me do this. System CTL stop SMB, right? Let's try running it manually. SMBD. Let's run it in interactive mode so that we see the output of it on the screen. And F for foreground. And let's go with that. So SMBD running. Looks like it anyway. Well, that's not good. Let's try that again.
I didn't even get to it.
All right, maybe just a dash F. All right, how about a dash I? That's better. Let's see if it'll run any longer. And uh, uh, uh. Wow, it does not like this. So it's crashing, and I don't know why. But we can figure it out. So what we're going to do here is do a dash D for debug level. And we're going to go debug. 4. Yay! Yeah, but it's ignoring that. So this is it loading up all of the configurations. Let's, says waiting for connections. Let's try it. Aha, but we have, look at that. So you can see here, this is where it's trying to check the password of that user. And if you look, like, that's not my my username. That's this computer, GMB133-12. That's the name of that Windows computer. And the user I'm logged in as a student, because I don't remember the administrator password, although it's printed on some of these. But it's failing, saying no such user. So that means we need to check our configuration. Now, I'll break down for the sake of time and go to Dan's courses because I know he's got a valid Samba configuration out here. I know this says Ubuntu, but it's the same. Same configuration. Right. Get it. Okay. Dang it. Security equals user. I think it's mb.com. Security equals user. So inside of Vim, sorry, I'm very bad at explaining some of these things sometimes. Call me out on this crap more often, guys. I did a search in Vim by hitting the slash key right here. Just when I'm in normal command mode, I hit a slash, and then I can search for something like security, and you see that it highlights what I'm searching for. And in the case of like searching for multiple things, I can just hit up and search, you know. Interesting. So it still doesn't like. All right, so guess what we're going to do? Config's not working, but let's copy this error here, right? The failed with error. We're going to copy that and go to the Googles. And let's look. Problems with public sharing on Samba 4. Well, that explains a lot of what we're doing. Looks like this is their config. But when I try to access the share, it does a lot like what we're doing. So let's look. Next message. Oh, great. Nothing. Which one? This one? Oh, here? One user can authenticate, one user can't. Well, we're more dealing with a no one can authenticate because I don't have any. Let's put in here guest. I'm guessing it's because I screwed that up. Because this is all about LDAP and such. I think I screwed this up. Remember how I put games in there? Didn't really want that. I don't really want that. I'm going to comment that out. I'm also going to comment out guest okay, because I don't know if that's doing anything, but sure worth a shot. So let's do this again. Now I'm going to go back and try it. All right, well, we didn't get anything different, so all right, fine. I'm going to hit browsable to yes on that. I don't think that, well, I mean, it's worth a shot. This is the trial and error part. Well, not much different. Go tweak it till it works. Man. Let's see what he's got here. Hmm. Go to this guessed okay equals yes again. Just in case. Just in case. Setting guessed okay. Fix it. Down, highly. Yeah. Huh. Very interesting. Um. Interesting. Well, that's useless. Huh. Well. This looks more promising. Ooh, and server fault. I like server fault. Turns out Samba was not leaving my user map file. Correct configuration is shown below. But I don't need Huh. So I guess it does need a guest account. That guest account needs to be interesting. So let's try this again. We'll edit this. We'll scroll up to the section where it talks about the guest account. We'll give it Samba. Samba underscore user. So I'm going to go in here, SMB password. Awesome. So we want to add a user, yeah, a password to Samba. We'll just do Samba user. Hold on, let's go back to our config file. And we want to make sure this encrypt password is set to yes. And I'm wondering, up here there was a TD. Let's try deleting that comment as well. Huh. Let's Google this error, because that's interesting. Those all look good. Ah, okay. Yay! So I had to add the user to a local, to my local Linux system in order for it to work. Right now I'm going to give that user, because it's down here at the very, very bottom, Samba user, right? I'm going to give access to so I should have a Steve group in here too. I'm going to go and add Samba user because I'm sharing my documents directory. So I'm going to go back into my Samba configuration. Scroll down here to the bottom, or the thing here where it says guest account is Samba underscore user. That's what I called my user, right? And I gave it no password in Samba. So we will rerun Samba manually. SMBD-I-D4. Now let's try it. Oh, man. And it still hates me. Friggin' A. Why want to just... of course it couldn't find student. Instead of I want to do F. I'm just going to try it. See if that does anything. Ah. It's not telling us anything. So I'm going to control C it, but I'm going to put a little and at the end. And what the and will do allows it to run in the background. I'm going to do a tail dash F on var log samba log.smbd. So there we are, waiting for connections. Let's try it. And no debug logging. Awesome. So control seeing that, FGing, and control seeing that. FG stands for foreground. So I can take a process like SMBD. Why does it hate me so? Kill it again. So I can run it like this, and I can then hit Control Z, which stops it, and then hit BG and send it to the background, which means it's still running. So I can have multiple things running on the command line at once, which is actually pretty handy. But in this case, I want to FG and kill it, because it's still not working the way I want. Let's try this again. SMB password for Samba user. So I just tried enabling it, right? And I gave it a password. So let's try doing the ID5. Maybe that'll work. Hey, But do we get better errors? No, we don't. How about D4? Let's try it again. Wait a second. It didn't crash. It didn't work, but it didn't crash. Okay, well that's progress. It didn't work, but it didn't crash. So, this is when things get really interesting, when you don't have anything to Google. Let me try this again. Okay. But it didn't give me much of a... Alright, let's do this. Here they disabled a user, so let's try, I don't know. Is there any possibility that that'll work? What's the opinion? If they work, I don't have to fight off. Okay, it died. It died a death. Bugger. Well, how about this? It's getting on 8 o'clock here. I know I got a little bit of a late start on it. But if you guys could even get to this point where it's failing but not in any obvious ways, awesome. And if you guys get it working, extra credit. So I'm actually probably going to call it quits. If you guys do get it figured out, awesome. If not, I will probably finish this up next week, if that's okay with everybody. And hopefully by then I will figure out what my mistake is in getting this working. But that's how it goes a lot of times with Linux stuff. Like, you'll be going along on it, and it'll work, and then it won't work, and it won't work, and it won't work. And then after many hours of just banging your head against the keyboard, you'll be like, ah, crap, it was so simple. So that's how these things are. They can be a little bit, once you get it dialed in just right, the config file, it's good, but it doesn't always work out the first time or the best. But really, the thing is, you got to go out there and Google stuff and figure it out, because not a whole lot of people just give you the answer straight off. So that's all I got for this week. For those of you who have questions or anything about either the SquidGuard stuff, keep sending me emails. If you're here, you obviously can ask me questions. For those of you who are not here and want to ask questions later on the Hangout, that's fine. I'm going to stop recording now. So if you guys are ready, if you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, I will probably end it. So I'm going to definitely stop broadcast, and we'll talk to you guys next week.